Alright, YouTube, it is the Bat Nerd, and I am back. Try not to make my voice as sharp because it makes my throat sore. So, yes, I hope everyone's had a great Christmas and New Year, and I am back like I said I would be in 2020, so I thought I would kick off my new phase with review on, well, we've got a few. The MCU, it's had its Infinity Saga done, and it's had all 23 films, and, we have more to come like Black Widow this summer, which I will review, but I thought let's revisit the DCEU in the build-up to Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 1984. So, where better to begin than Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder, written by David S. Goyer, starring Henry Cavil, Amy Adams, Micheal Shannon, Kevin Costner, Diane Lane, Lawrence Fishburne, and Russel Crowe. So this is the first entry in the DCEU where we get a reboot and a retelling of the origin story of Superman, where Clarke Kent is raised on a farm in Smallville, and you know the backstory of Superman. So, anyway, in the final act of the film, Kryptonians, led by General Zod, invade Earth and Metropolis and want to take over the Earth and bring back Krypton. But of course, Kai-Lel, Clarke Kent, isn't going to let that happen, and he protects the Earth. And, yeah. And then at the end, truly becomes Superman. So let's get on to my likes and dislikes. First of all, my likes. I like the effects in this. I liked our performances from Kevin Costner and Lawrence Fishburne, and Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I also liked Henry Cavill's performance as Kal-El, or Clarke Kent, and Russel Crowe. He was great as Jor-El. And I thought the visuals in this were great, and the action was great. Especially the final act, when the action is all crammed in and we get a big fight between Superman and General Zod, and when he has to make that hard decision by killing Zod. It's all pretty brutal, but all epic at the same time, and yeah, it's got good effects and good visuals. Now for the dislikes. I didn't like how this was a slow burn. It was great, but it was telling us a story that we already know. We know he crash lands in Smallville, we know he's from Krypton, we know he gets raised as Clarke Kent, we know everything about this origin story. So I don't like that they wasted a good portion of this movie on an origin story that we already know. Basically, that generations before are probably familiar with. And I don't think we saw enough Superman in this. And he was treated as a threat as well. He was later embraced and acknowledged as a hero, but I thought it was so slow, and it was a bit of a snooze fest in the middle act, because it's like, yeah, we know he's Clarke Kent and all that, and yeah. I found it a good waste of a movie, going over a story that we're familiar with. I did like the final act, though, and with the action, but I feel that all the action was crammed into like the last hour to 45 minutes of this movie. This movie is about, this movie, how long is it on for? It's on for 2 hours and 23 minutes, and I feel that they got a good 1 hour and 23 minutes, of the movie wasted on, like I say, the origin story, and the last hour cramming so much action into one go. I feel that, why are they telling us a story that we know? I found that a bit disappointing, and it could have been a much better movie, and yeah, this movie wasn't a total failure because it did well enough to start the DCEU. They had a failed attempt with Green Lantern. In fact, they had so much expectations for Green Lantern that it was going to start the DC Extended Universe and be the first of a trilogy, which, of course, after the massive bomb that was, it never happened. I'm glad that they did start the DCEU again, though, and they did it with Superman, who is probably the most popular superhero in the DC Comics. But of course, you should all know that my favorite superhero of all time in the DC Comics is Batman. Hence this look and hence my channel. But still, at least I'm glad that it got to start the DCEU. But a lot of good story time wasted on, like I said, an origin we already know. We know he crashed, like I said, Smallville. We know he finds like his like ice cave, his lair in the Arctic, and I think we saw this in the Christopher Reeves movies and animated series and comics, the classic serials. So why do it on the big screen? Giving us a one long origin story that we already know. But I'll give the visuals and the performances from everyone, in this good. I think that's what saved the movie, the performances and some of the visuals. Some visuals were like OTT, some were just lame and yeah, but I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's good, but it's not brilliant. So, now for my ratings. Man of Steel, I'm gonna give this... I'll give it 2.5 Batarangs out of 5 because I'm split between it. 2.5 Batarangs out of 5 for Man of Steel. So that has been my Bat Nerd review. Have you seen this movie? Let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Be sure to share with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and to hit that notification bell. I have been the Bat Nerd, and until next time, Bat Nerd out.